heading to a unique shoot where I'm hoping to get a couple of nice landscape photos out of it.
You know what? Let's stop the video right there, because this video is what I was going to play today. But something unusual happened, and so this video I'm doing now will be the first video. You see, I was in Congaree National Park picking up some maps for a future shoot I was going to do there. And I shot some different woodland scenes. Basically, they had a burn there, and I thought I could get some neat shots there while there was still some smoldering smoke and such. And then I was looking at a shot where I would shoot up through the trees, and I was playing around with my settings on how much light would come in from the sun. And I was using my Nikon D850, high resolution, 45 megapixels. I had the shutter speed set on continuous high, which means it would shoot up to about 7.5 frames per second. And I accidentally fired off 2 quick shots, and it basically came because I was bracketing when I was in the woods, and I leave it on that so I could just hold the shutter button down and let it fire quickly. And I shot a couple of shots of the sun that were just way too bright for what I was going to have to do, so I had ended up dialing it down to where I was at 1/8,000th of a second at f32, ISO 64, and was shooting at 200 millimeters with a Tamron 70-200 lens. And that got it dark enough that when I reviewed the picture in camera, I noticed a speck on one of the photos, and I was like, crap, I got dust or something on, or a speck on the lens or on the sensor or something. So I checked it, and the next frame the speck had moved. So then I realized it wasn't anything that was on the camera, it was something that the camera had captured. And that's what we're going to talk about here, because it was just dumb luck for this to have happened, but I caught something that I don't know what it is. So let me pull up Lightroom. The only reason I'm doing this is I'm going to bring in the raw files that I shot. The images I'm going to show you, they've not been photoshopped or anything. In fact, I'm pulling them into Lightroom for the first time right now so that we can see, try to zoom in and see exactly what we got. Let me get the computer where it will record. Okay, we've got that up. I'm going to bring in some images real quick. These are all NEF files, which is Nikon's version of a RAW file. We'll import them. And then you can see some of the shots I'd taken. And we'll start with this image here. This was one of the ones I was telling you about. I was just too bright on. This was ISO 64, 200 millimeters at f8 at 1/8000th of a second. And the same thing here. And you can see it's just a bunch of light for all intents and purposes. This next image was where I noticed a speck. And it is located right here. So let's zoom in. You can see here's the sun, and here's the object I'm talking about. And I have no clue what it is. You can see it looks like there's a little reflection there. And of course, one thing that I had thought about when I looked at it on the back of the screen is, could it have been a bug? Well, at 200 millimeters, basically focused for infinity, I was thinking a bug or a bird, but still it would have to be a big bug or bird for it to even have that much detail, even though there's not a lot there. But the problem is on the very next frame, now remember this is about 1/7 of a second later because it fired consecutive. now the speck is on this side, so it transited throughout the sun there. And you see the shape or the alignment of it. You can see it's in this 11 to 5 o'clock angle, where here it's also say 11:30 to 5:30. So it transferred over, it came from here down to here in a 1/7 of a second, and kept that same angle flow. What I want to do, let's crop in so we can get rid of a lot of this junk. About there. Now we can see it a little bit better. There's just not any detail there. For one, I'm not focused on it. I didn't see it. It's not something I could see with my eyes. It's obviously not a bug, because it wouldn't fly like this. It's not a plane. Again, it's not going to fly like that if it's a plane. So what is it? That's the big question. Now I did, let's zoom in on this one too. We're going to crop it down tight as well. In fact, let's do it a little even tighter. Something like that. I did check the International Space Station based on where I was to see if there was a flyover, and no, I didn't see there was no flyover in that vicinity during that time. Actually, there was no flyover in that vicinity that day, which was yesterday. Now, could it be some type of satellite or space junk or something? I suppose. If it is, it's just dumb luck that I was able to capture it in both these images as it transited the sun. Which makes it, quite honestly, a UFO, because I've not been able to identify it. Basically because I don't know what I'm doing. The clarity's not really helping anything on it. This is the new version of Lightroom with the dehaze slider, which I really like. See, with that dehaze, it makes it look more, instead of that line that's up and down as we dehaze it, it looks like it's more full, more round, oval. Let's go to the other photo. We'll jump the clarity up some as well. Then let's go with this dehaze filter here. See that one? Yeah, it still kind of gives us a little bit of an oval shape there. I don't know how to bring it out any better. That's the problem. But what do you think? Did I capture a UFO? Did I capture a satellite? I've captured something, and it's not a bug, it's not a plane, it's not a piece of debris on my lens or on my sensor. And if it is a satellite or something in space, even if it's low orbit space, that's a fast transit of the sun, shooting at 200 millimeters at basically a 1/7 of a second apart. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I may contact NASA to see if they know anything. Anyway, the other video, I'll have it up next week. See you later.